What's up, otakus? It's your tour guide here. We're coming. So, I gotta apologize. Things have been, kind of hectic um, in the first month of the year. I had that trip to San Francisco. I did show off some of the books I brought back from that trip, so this is not part of that haul. But I had books right after my first haul. I picked up more books. I went to San Francisco, brought some books back. Got a package from Metarog. Shout out to you, Metarog. Um, and again, showed off some of the books I brought back from my parents' place and things I picked up in Berkeley. And then I continued to pick up books over the last couple weeks. And so this is sort of, I'm just catching up. It's a video that I should have done earlier, but I just kept picking up books. I didn't get around to doing the video, and now I am at some 31 books here for this haul, which is quite a bit, quite a lot. So we're gonna do this haul. This is technically my quote unquote second haul. Technically second haul and third haul kind of mixed together. I should say third and fourth because the videos I already put out cover my second haul technically on the channel, but those books actually got after a lot of this bulk haul. And of course I just picked up more books recently, so I'll indicate ones I picked up earlier last month and the ones I picked up just over the past week. But again, 31 books, and we spent $29. So, as you know, I had about $400 roughly that my wife gave me for Emerald City Comic Con, and we were trying to save as much of that 400 as possible. I did not do a very good job. As you know, I spent $30 on this. I also picked up another $13 book recently. So that's already, that's already how much? About 35, just a little less, almost, $30. No, 29 plus 15 would be, 45. That's almost 40, a little under $45 I've already spent. So I'm just at around 265 and change for the Comic Con, which is still good. Still good. Again, we're going to reserve $65 outside of, so we want to take $300 with us to the con. I'm going to probably take $325 just to be safe in case. I don't want to always regret, oh man, I wish I had more cash if it comes down to that. So we're gonna take about $325 to the con. I'm not looking to spend all of it, but again, I have some pretty big books on my radar, and we'll see if we come back with those. And so that's kind of what we're working with. But again, this particular haul, 31 books. I've got to admit, it's a pretty focused haul. Now, I wasn't looking to pick up books, but again, if I go to but my problem is I should stop going to half-price books, because if I go to half-price books, I'm gonna run into a book that I can't justify leaving there at that price, which is what a lot of these books are. So it's a pretty focused haul in that sense. In fact, I'd say the majority of these books are books that I want to add to my PC. And some of these books are speculation books they're just really cheap, and I thought, you know what, let's pick it up. It's a key kind of speculation book. I'll point those out as we go. But that's kind of where we're at with this haul. So 31 books, we spent $29, so it's a little less than $1 per book. And normally what I do is I kind of build up to the book of the haul, but today I am going to start with the book of the haul, and I'm going to show you right off the bat. So again, I spent $29, and this is one of the 31 books we picked up. Yes, it's a first print Spider-Verse Gwen Stacy. Now, I picked this up for $2. No joke. And as you know, I picked this up here locally at the half-price bookstore for $2, and I was just like amazed. I mean, it's a high-grade book. I mean, it's got its issues, but overall it's high grade. And I just was like, wow, this is probably like the best book I've ever pulled on a haul from Half Price Books. I can say it is the best book I pulled in a haul from Half Price Books. And so yeah, I never got around to doing that haul video. I did put it on Instagram, and I think I told a few people in the comic fam I pulled this book, and I was going to get around to doing the video, but now I'm getting around to doing it now, so better late than never. But as you know, if you watched my previous videos, when we went to Berkeley, okay, so just like a week after I pulled this book, I went to Berkeley. We went digging at the Half Price Books there in Berkeley just randomly because we were eating ramen in Berkeley, and I saw the store and I looked at my wife and she's like, okay, go ahead. So I went in there just like 10 minutes. I was just digging for like 10 minutes, and we found a second copy. Yes, 2 copies in 2 weeks for $2 each. Twinsies. So I mean, I'm not counting this as part of the 31 books. This was a separate haul from Berkeley, which I already kind of posted about. But just letting you know, okay, this is our first book of this 31 book haul, and man, is it a doozy. This particular copy is spoken for. I am currently involved in a trade with Craven Hunt's Comics, and he's going to be sending me 3 books for this 1 book. And again, I think I'm giving up a little value in terms of this trade, but the books I'm getting back are pretty nice as well. So look out for that. I'll unbox that when we get around to doing it. He's apparently somewhere other than where he lives, so he's going to be, when he gets back, he's going to message me, and then we'll coordinate both the shipments at the same time, so we get the books right around the same time. All right, so we're starting off pretty hot. That was our first big book, and you know, along with that book, I did find this key book here. This one I got for $2, half a cover. Spider-Man 2. This is the first appearance of the evil alternative Miles. We also picked up Spider-Man number 12, the first issue of Sitting in a Tree, Kissing. Great cover there, actually. Just love this cover. This is probably something I'll want to keep in my collection. So pick this one up also for $2. So 3 books in, not so bad, right? It's been a very good year in terms of pickups, I think, and if this is any indication of what the year is going to be like, I'm very excited for the year. Next, this is sort of like not that it's a FOMO book, but you know, I think I saw this book on Comic Tom, and he was saying this book is getting hot and whatever. So I knew these books were at my bookstore. And the lucky thing is these books all went on sale for 25 cents at my local half-price bookstore. All of these were for 25 cents. And so we have Powers of X #1. That's a nice cover there. Key book. Picked that one up for 25 cents. Picked up House of X #1. I believe this is the first print. Nice cover there as well. Pepe Larraz did all these covers. Correct me if I'm wrong. 25 cents. And this one, Patrick Gleason cover, was also 25 cents. This one is a 1 in 100 ratio variant. So this one is like about $35, I believe. Picked that up for $0.25, so that was really nice to pick those up for $0.25 each. This is X-Men 1, again, I think the Patrick Gleason variant. Got all the new team members there on that cover. Pretty nice. All right, moving right along. Now this one was also in the quarter bin at Half Price Books, and I just like it was a cover buy for $0.25. I was like, you know, I have a few kind of Trump-esque books, and so I just picked this one up as well. Trump Punch Man. I watched first season of One Punch Man while I was in Japan, and it was just one of the best tongue-in-cheek, funny comic book, sort of manga comic book hero-esque series I've ever watched. Really funny. Again, they're making fun of the whole sort of superhero genre, I guess you could say. But it is very entertaining, funny and entertaining. And if you haven't watched One Punch Man, you should. Most of you probably have. You should go watch. But I haven't seen anything past season 1, so I'm very curious to know what happens. I'm sure it gets a little bit more serious and maybe, you know, moves into the realm of like more into the action realm. But yeah, again, I'd be interested in watching past season 1 of One Punch Man. But we have Trump Punch Man here, which I thought was a funny cover. And I think he's holding a brick. Yeah, and just a funny cover. But yeah, pick that one up. That's a cover buy. All right, this next one we picked up for $1.99, and I know this series is currently on, I think, Amazon Prime. Now, I'm not a big fan of this particular book. It came out after I got out of comics back in the late 90s. But I know it's a very popular title, and this is a key book. This is image cross, like a cross-title crossover book. So you got Spawn, Dragon, Witchblade, a bunch of Image universe characters converging on an Invincible book. Invincible 60, again, the start of the Invincible War. This is a pretty pricey book as well, so I just, when I ran across it, I was like, yeah, this is not something we want to leave here. I picked it up for $2 basically, and it is a $40 book. This was a cover buy, and this was also 25 cents. Superman The Secret Years, and I just love that because it's a Frank Miller Superman cover. So we love Frank Miller art, and here we have a very interesting take on Superman. So this was just a cover buy. The interiors are done by Swan and Curt Schaffenberger. So yeah, just kind of like nice Copper Age Superman book for me to pick up. I know, fanboy, if you're watching, you probably are oohing and ahhing. Frank Miller Superman, pretty nice. Picked that up for $0.25. These are also, the next couple are also quarters. This is Wonder Woman 132. This is a nice Nazi John Byrne cover. You got Nazi saluting there in the back. And some character there, evil character. This is also a key book. Picked that up for $0.25. This one we also picked up for $0.25, which is a great cover. And this is a Adam Hughes cover here, early Adam Hughes. Very different. You can tell his early work is very different from what his style is known for now, with a more, painting style. Some of the Justice League characters. Justice League 32, and I'm kind of, I think a lot of people are specking on this as well, just this Giffen DeMatteis run of Justice League America and Justice League as well. It's I think end up being a lot of source material for Gunn, because he's eventually going to get to Justice League, right? It's just what is Gunn's Justice League going to look like? Who is it going to be comprised of? And if you look at some of the characters that have been introduced already, like Blue Beetle, Booster Gold, it's kind of heading in that direction, I think. So I'm specking on it. I'm sure a lot of you are as well. So a lot of those are quarter. This one, okay, so this past week, just yesterday actually, I had some time and I just went to Mill Geek Comics, where they have 50-cent bins, and we picked up some books there as well. So the ones we picked up for 50 cents, when I showed off and I said I got this for 50 cents, just know that I picked it up at Mill Geek Comics. So shout out to Russ at Mill Geek, aka Comic Sensei. We're a big fan of his. But this one, I think I showed off on my Instagram, and I kind of went there with the intention of, with all the James Gunn announcement. So a lot of the books I've shown off thus far were way before that announcement. That announcement came out this week, I believe. So I was just picking up these books. Like this book I picked up before the announcement, but I knew, Gunn, this is potential Gunn fodder for the DCU. But after he really kind of exposed his hand on sort of the foundational stuff, the initial stuff he's planning to introduce, we went to Mill Geek with that knowledge in the back of our head as we were digging. And I found this nice key book of Booster Gold here. It's Booster Gold's first appearance into Justice League. A great cover by Kevin Maguire. I'm thinking of getting this one signed at Emerald City Comic Con. getting it signed in gold by Kevin McGuire, like somewhere in the thigh area, or maybe just even across the Justice League. But that would just look really nice in like a gold signature. So hopefully he has a gold pen, because they usually have a set of colored markers. Hopefully he has like a gold colored one, or even a yellow marker, and get that signed. Beautiful cover there by McGuire and Booster Gold. So picked this up for 50 cents. It's a spec book. It's pretty nice condition. It's not perfect, but I'd put it in the 8.5, 8.0 range. Not bad at all. All right, so we're not even like halfway there yet, so we still got a lot of ways to go. This next book is definitely a key book, and also speculation on my part. Well, not so much speculation anymore, I think. I mean, it still is speculation, but I think beyond the speculation, this is just a book a lot of collectors want now. So it's not spec in that sense. It's sort of a hot book. Still rather inexpensive, and that's the first appearance of and first issue of the West Coast Avengers. And this is again, I picked this up for $3 at Mill Geek Comics. So as you know, Mill Geek Comics has 50-cent bins, and they have $3 bins. This particular issue was in $3 bins. It's in badly need of a press, but overall, because of the white cover, you don't see a lot of like color breaking issues. So with the press, this could actually come back really nice condition. There is a marker here that's somebody wrote through, but that doesn't bug me. There was, everybody knows what happened to Jeremy Renner, and just wishing that he makes a full recovery. I know he probably won't. It seems like he did suffer quite a bit of physical trauma to his body that doesn't seem like he's going to be likely to recover from. So, it puts the whole West Coast Avengers kind of question. There's uncertainty around what's going to happen in the future of the future of this franchise. And but anyway, what we're really focused on is that Jeremy makes a full recovery, or makes a recovery and hopefully a return to acting. And so our just thoughts and prayers are with him and his family as he continues to recover from that tragic accident. But yeah, for $3, thought we'd pick it up. All right, the next set of books are sort of like the artists that I collect books, and I do not collect Dustin Nguyen, but I'm a big fan of his art. I've always, when I'm digging through for comics, I always run into his artwork, and I'm always amazed at how the style. He has this watercolor, beautiful watercolor style that kind of bleeds, but the lines are sharp and articulate, and so it's just wonderful art to look at. And I kind of did on a few earlier video that I was on the lookout for a Dustin Nguyen book, a key book, something that a cover that I liked, that we would want to get signed at Emerald City Comic Con. And I did have my eye on a Two-Face cover he did. It's like a red and black Two-Face cover, beautiful cover as well. And I thought, if we don't pick anything up, if we don't find anything, I'll pick that up. Now that one is half a cover, which is $2 for that book. And it's a little bit more than I wanted to spend. I was hoping to find like a Dustin Wynn book for like $1 or less, because again, a lot of his books are modern books, and you can probably grab them like in $1 or quarter bin somewhere. And so that's what we were hoping to find at Mill Geek Comics in the 50-cent bin. I went digging with Dustin Wynn in the back of my mind, a book that we'd want to get signed, and I actually found a couple books. But again, because I wanted to limit what I pick up, I just picked out one book that I think will get signed, and I may go back and get that Two-Face cover and get that signed as well, like 2 books. I know a lot of people, when they do the signings, they just include 2 books as part of, you know, the fee or whatever. So if you can get 2 books signed for like for one price, that's great. If he's very strict on signing just 1 book for whatever he's quoting, we'll get this book signed. And this is just a beautiful cover. I just, it's not a key book, but it's just a cover buy. It literally is just a cover buy, and so I'm already planning like what I'm going to do for the signature, because usually I have them kind of not just sign the book, but add a little, you know, bat symbol or something like that, and it becomes a sketch / signature book. And we picked up Streets of Gotham, Batman Streets of Gotham, number 3, and look at that cover. First of all, you got Batman on a building, looks like it's a water tower, and to the rear of him, there's a big billboard that reads Batman Streets of Gotham, saved by Bruce Wayne. It's just a really cool like covering effect. So I think where we're going to try to get the signature is in this area here where it's just white, and try to get some kind of signature, maybe even a little bat signal or something, which would be really cool. So this is 50-cent pickup, really clean copy of Batman Streets of Gotham, signed by Bruce Wayne. Now I could get this signed and then get it CGC witnessed and submit it for slabbing or something, but that adds a considerable cost, the grading fees and the third party fees, and the book ends up being costing more. It will come back slabbed, and I think it'd come back at a high grade, but we'll just have to see. If I do get the book that I'm intending to get at Emerald City Comic Con, I don't have any room in the budget to have this particular book for a CDC signature. So, but if I don't pick up that book, and look, and we don't pick up that book or some of the other books on my target list, that's something we may consider. All right, the next 2 books are 2 books by one of my favorite artists of all time, and this one is a very interesting. I don't know much about this book, but again, this was a 25-cent book, and it's just a nice cover, some just very sort of bright, sort of colorful green, nice green, you know, shade of green, beautiful like butterfly design there. This is Aspen Seasons, the spring 2005 edition, and I think this is looks to be like a self-published book by Michael Turner and some of his creative partner / colleagues. So again, just a book you don't see all that often. Beautiful Michael Turner cover, 25 cents. I said, I'm taking it home with me. is a cover that's limited to only 9,000 copies. It's a variant, and it's a beautiful Harley Quinn variant there by Michael Turner. So there's a Michael Turner variant, just stunning. The color, the background is just a bunch of Joker cards, red and black Joker cards there, and she's standing in front of this like heart shape with her larger than life gun, and it's just, yeah, it's just beautiful cover. So this is definitely staying in the PC. It's probably it's probably one of the best, or one of my best Michael Turner covers in the collection. At Half Price Books, we've been finding Peach Momoko books for half a cover, and they're really I can't, if I find them for less than cover price, I'm gonna pick them up. And these Peach Momoko books are all like they're just things I would collect, whether they were Peach or somebody else. But I guess we'll start here with Momoko Deadpool. Got that for half a cover. We also picked up Black Panther, Momoko Black Panther, half a cover. This is a variant. All of these are variant editions. Peach variant. We also picked up Grogu. I love this Grogu cover. She does a really good job making him really extra cute. He's already cute to begin with, but she captures the essence of how cute the little guy is. This is Mandalorian number 4, the variant edition. Just a nice. And in contrast, we also picked up the photo variant of Star Wars Yoda, number 1. Judge me by my size. We love Yoda, and when I saw this cover, I was like, no, we gotta get it. Just too much nostalgia, childhood nostalgia, and it released all the endorphins and dopamine, and basically Yoda spoke to me and said, "The Force will be with you always." Sorry for the bad Yoda impression. Okay. This is a book I kind of showed off to Naman Young, so if you saw that video, please forgive me, but I am showing it off again, and this is just a really cool book. What this is I forget what the year this was. I think it's from I want to say it's from 1992. Yeah, it's from 1992 or 3 or what, it was the year the death of Superman was about to, as it was happening. This came out right around the time Death of Superman came out. It was like a kind of like a preview, it came out at the time of the Death of Superman. So let's say it's 92. And that is Superman Tribute Edition, first edition Wizard. This book is just so cool, especially if you're a Superman fan, because you know how you have sometimes you can collect like these huge, collected editions that go through the history of Superman. You have all these long articles and stuff written in it, just this massive sort of homage to Superman, and covers a lot of information. You kind of don't want to deal with that. This is that sort of condensed. It goes through, so a lot of the key issues, the sort of the history of Superman, condensed magazine style articles. It also goes through all the actors that played Superman over the years through the 90s. Big focus on Reeve and this film from 1978, big focus on George Reeves, who played Superman in the 50s. It also has a price guide of Superman books, all the Superman early keys and early books, up to the modern, and so that's really interesting. So it's like a Superman price guide with all these interesting articles and history about. So fanboy, yeah, go out and get this book. This has your name on it, written all over it. I know you're probably watching like, man, I need this. You definitely need this in your life. Great read as well for just what Superman was in the 90s, especially during this event. It gives you a preview of the reign of Superman. It catalogs Doomsday, his fight, and the death of Superman. So it's jam-packed. And just so you know, the price of an Action Comics 1 in this price guide is $250,000, which is dirt cheap. $250,000? Yeah, I'll buy it. In maybe a future lifetime. But yeah, it's gone up quite considerably from $250,000. I think it was that. How much was it? Last check, like $8 million, something like that. Close to $10 million for Action Comics 1. It's just ridiculous. Okay. We're into my Jim Lee books now. And I've got quite a few Jim Lee books. And I don't know about you, but when James Gunn made the announcement that he's bringing in Wildstorm, a team from the Wildstorm era, the Authority, I did a little happy dance inside, like deep inside. I did a happy dance, and the reason I did the happy dance was because it signaled to me that Gunn would be the guy to bring in Jim Lee Wildstorm characters into the DCU and integrate them into DC I mean, they're already they're kind of like separated. They're not really fully integrated and introduced into DC continuity yet, and that was done for a specific reason. It's because if it failed in the comic books, they couldn't bring it to the movies, right? So there's this sort of intentional, like, we're going to make Wildstorm stuff, we're going to build it out, we're not going to mix it in with Batman and all that yet. It's intentionally done. There may have been hints, right? They may have appeared, like a DC character might have appeared here, and a Wildstorm character might have appeared in DC, like crossover type stuff here and there. But it's not to the point where it's fully integrated yet. They're still playing in their separate, respective playgrounds. And when Gunn made that announcement, the Authority was coming, it just went, psh, okay, Authority, you're going to see a WildCATS Easter egg or a Gen 13 Easter egg, and then what you're going to see are those, like, early image titles like Stormwatch, Gen 13, maybe even possibly Team 7, but definitely WildCATS. WildCATS are coming to the DCU at some point, so I'm not telling you to go out and buy Wildcat books, because to be honest, you can go out and buy them, but they're not going to really be all that valuable. You can go out and get the, what is it, the Malibu Sun copy of WildCATS. That'll probably get up there in value. That's like a $65 book, but that could get up to like $1,000 at some point. But WildCATS #1, maybe the newsstand could get up to maybe $100, but overall, because of the print count on that, it's never going to be above like a for the newsstand, maybe a $50 book. For this direct edition, it's going to be a $20 book. So I would not pay anywhere near that. But if you want to pick up a few copies, because they're like in the $1 bin, quarter bin, maybe even like $2. It'll probably be a $20 book if everything happens as I anticipate they will, which is like a movie and a franchise and an initial eventual integration into the DC continuity, where you see like maybe you see a Grifter in the Justice League. I mean, things like that. There's a potential for that to happen moving forward. So, with that said, our first book here does make a return in issue 30 through like 33. He makes just a few. He does a few covers on those issues, and this is one of those sort of late WildCat covers. This is WildCATS 32. Now he does kind of do interiors on this work. That what it mainly is he has his lackeys do the work, and he kind of like, I guess, pencils in and does a little bit, but he gets people to draw like him, and that's what you see in this book. So it's not necessarily Jim Lee art. It's like other people doing his art. But this cover is done by him. It has his signature here on the bottom. You can't really see it, but this is Zealot in sort of like a new costume. This is right around the time, like some of the WildCat characters, they quote unquote die, but they're actually sort of in this like other dimension, and then they eventually make their way back. So this is post return from death kind of Zealot there. Look at the new design, costume, just really nice cover. We picked up this newsstand edition of WildCATS #2. I already have the first prismatic cover in comic books. You're looking at the first ever prismatic cover in comic. It's still beautiful. It's still beautiful to look at. But if you were to ask me what I prefer, I think just the white cover, the blue trade dress there is the better cover than all this fancy shiny stuff. Just your standard cover there, nice and simple. The art still pops. The art pops even more actually on this than it does on something like that. Absolutely, it's the same art, just different presentation there. So happy to have both a direct and a newsstand in my collection. We picked up a second copy of WildCATS 13. This is just one of like my favorite covers. I remember when this cover came out, I was just like, man, I just got it. It's a beautiful Grifter cover there, and yeah, I think Grifter will be in the DCU. I think it just makes total sense. He's WildCATS 13 we picked up for 25 cents, and WildCATS #1 we picked up for 25 cents. And WildCATS #1 you'll run into this. I don't know if you'll run into it now for 25 cents or 50 cents or whatever. Those days may be gone. But you will still be able to find it for maybe $1 or $2, right? And for me, if I can find it for $1 or under, I will pick it up. If it's $2, it has to be like really minty fresh for me to pick it up for $2. But that's what we have here. We have a really nice looking copy. I don't know if this is this is my original copy. This is one I've had since I started collecting. So I don't have the one I actually picked up, but I have a second copy, and I'm not gonna dig it out, but that one is pretty nice too. I don't recall it being like beat up. It's not as nice as this one, but anytime I can do that, I'm gonna pick up this key issue. And again, don't go crazy on this book. There's a lot of copies out there. If you can pick it up cheap, do so, because it'll be a key book. It already is a key book, but it'll be more of a sought after book. But yeah, for me, I'll continue to pick up these copies if I find them cheap. And that's the if. I'm not gonna pay a lot for that book. I already have 2 copies. I don't really need to pick that up, but again, I do pick up a lot of Jim Lee doubles to my detriment. I probably should stop doing that. Alright, so we picked up the WildCATS number 1. These ones we also picked up for 50 cents. This is Alpha Flight BD-8, sort of a dingy, dirty copy there, but nice Jim Lee cover. I love the fact that they bring the Wolverine cover onto this. Just completely random there. Beautiful Wolverine art there. And we've got the return of Indicator for the real return of the original Guardian, guest starring Wolverine. So I did pick up this book here last year. I want to say I picked it up last year around spring or so, maybe earlier, maybe it was right around this time of year I picked this up, maybe early last year. And when I picked this up, it was the first time I knew something like this had existed. And this is the second of a 3 art gallery, X-Men art gallery collection, issue collection. And the 3 covers are Sabretooth, Gambit, and Archangel. And the Archangel cover, I was just like, I gotta have that Archangel cover. It's just stunning Jim Lee Archangel. And that's what we got yesterday for 50 cents. Found it in the 50-cent bin. Nice, graded, nice. I mean, we can get this graded. It's a really clean copy. Sharp corners, nice clean spine, and it's just, yeah. Of course, the X Factor Archangel there. But case in point, this is what he looks like when he has Alex Ross inking and coloring his work. So this is a Jim Lee sketch, but Alex Ross kind of takes over, and this is what you get. This is my 3rd copy of Countdown to Infinite Crisis number 1, and when you find it for 50 in the 50-cent bin, which is what I did at Mill Geek, nice clean copy. When you find it, you pick it up for 50 cents. You pick it up, and I just love this cover. Just love it. It's Jim Lee / Alex Ross goodness. Definitely, yeah, like, see the effect that inking and coloring has on like an initial framework of. Alright, so we're down to my last couple of books, and I'm just going to end on Jim Lee. I was fortunate enough to pick these books up for half of, and that's Dark Knight's Metal and Dark Days The Forge. These are both Jim Lee covers, so happy to pick those up. We got a great cover of this Batman statue with Batman at the base. He's staring up. There's a lot going on here. Looks pretty. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on. This one is a nice action shot of Wonder Woman. Love Jim Lee and Wonder Woman. Now, there are a few books I did find, like some George Perez Wonder Woman covers, some John Byrne Wonder Woman covers. There were a considerable amount of like books that I had in my stack that I had to just whittle down and really, I mean, for 50 cents a piece, you think, yeah, you can pick it all up, but at the end of the day, the subtotal ends up being higher than you want to spend. So I initially went with the intention of picking about 10 books up, $5. I picked up a $3 book that kind of took out more than half right there, and so we ended up spending, I think, $6.50, which is nice, but that's because I put a bunch of books back. I couldn't pick up everything I wanted to get, but these were from half-price books, so I did. But again, I'm just talking about what's most recent in my memory, which is the Mill Geek, when I went there yesterday. All right, this last one, nothing really remarkable, but it is a key book. We did find it for $1.13 or whatever, half a cover, and that is Batman 608, the first print, direct edition. Got this for half a cover, so yeah, I'm not going to leave this there, especially if it's for half a cover. But this has come up at half price books, and this continues to come up at half price books. Like for example, the Poison Ivy cover, the actual first appearance of Hush, that's at half price books right now, and they're selling that for $40. There's a lot of books at half price books right now that are priced. In fact, there's like a Amazing Spider-Man. I may actually pick this up but I'll pick it. I know it won't sell, but it's an Amazing Spider-Man number 89, the Doc Ock cover, and that is already something I have in my collection. The copy at half price books would be my second copy if I did pick it up. It's not in very high grade. I would put it at like low grade copy, but it's $10, and so I was just kind of like, oh, do I pick it up? Do I not? I held off on picking it up, but I may pick it up at some point. I don't know. I probably won't, because unless I can pick it up. So as you know, I have 4 books there. One is a Peach Momoko CGC signature book from when she was doing the event last year. That's still there. That's still being graded, or waiting to be graded. I have no idea when that's gonna muscle through. But 3 books that moved through the stage to the quality control stage, those books after it moved into that stage, those books shipped out, I think, the next day or the next 2 days after that. And so they're in transit. I had my USPS notification set up. It's on its way here, so I imagine it'll get here by Monday. So when I get that, those 3 books will do a CGC unboxing. So look out for that CGC unboxing next week. The other exciting thing, as I mentioned earlier in this video, is I purchased the book off Mercari. Stay tuned for all of that. Alright, now it's truly the end. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.